Hello again, welcome to another One Take Madness. I'm hoping to end up loving this story because from the title, I don't know if I will. Op starts cheating on his wife and stops. I, 40 male, started to cheat on my wife, 38 female, but stopped halfway through. Do I still tell her? Okay, well, just from the title you should yes and leave. But okay, let's jump into it. This happened in June 25, 2022. My wife and I have a great relationship. Had, because you just spit in the face of your relationship. All my anger is coming through very strong. It's right, we'll get through this one. I can't say I've had any real complaints. We've been together for 5 years, married for 2 of those, and up until now I would have said I would never stray. I was away for work last week, and while I was in a hotel, a young woman, 21 female, sat next to me and began to flirt with me. I was extremely flattered by the attention. Of course you a loser. And I admit it was a real ego boost to be flirted with somebody so young. As I've stated, to get to a middle-aged dad body, been feeling like I'm losing my looks a bit. After a bit of talking, the woman invited herself back up to my hotel room, where we began to have sex. Of course you did, loser. For me, it was all about the thrill of being desired by somebody other than my wife, especially by a very young woman. I was slightly drunk and figured I'd probably never get the opportunity to sleep with a 21-year-old again. But the thrill wore off very quickly as I realized I wasn't enjoying myself. This girl was not in bed. She was basically just laid there and starfished. Sometimes she would pull herself into what she thought was a sexy pose, but that was it. She didn't seem interested in me at all. Might as well have been a human dildo. She seemed more interested in herself and how sexy she thought she was. Sex with my wife has always been amazing. When I'm with my wife, she's all over me. Talking to me, telling me how hot I am, grabbing me, touching me, getting on top. I feel like the hottest guy in the world when I'm in bed with my wife. With this girl, I felt like I could leave the room. She might not even notice, let alone care. She seemed like she wanted the ego boost of a guy finding her attractive. I couldn't stay aroused, so I stopped about 10 minutes into it and asked her to leave, which she did. I didn't come. I just took a shower and then called my wife to hear her voice. Now I'm back home, and so far I haven't told my wife about it. There's a guilty part of me that says I should because she deserves to know, but another part of me that says, why should I torpedo our happy marriage, cause her pain for something that I didn't even enjoy and will never do again? All I did was prove to me that I want my wife more than anyone else. I want to do the right thing, but I genuinely don't know how the right thing to do is here. I know that I will never stray again. Should I tell her or keep it to myself? I mean, I think your wife deserves a much better human being, but, you know, she's currently got you. Relevant comment apparently is, it sounds like you only regret having sex with this woman because she was bad in bed. If this 21-year-old was incredible in bed and better than your wife, would you have stayed? Would you have stopped in the middle? I don't think you would have. I don't think this asshole would have. Oh, let's keep the emotions down. There was an update to this post on July the 1st, so not too long after. And the comment is, I really took a beating from Reddit when I made my first post. So maybe some of you be happy to read this update, maybe not. I was still not sure whether to tell my wife what happened or not after making the post. It's not because I'm selfish, like you had said, but because I was struggling to find a logic to telling her something that would hurt her when she didn't need to know because it was never going to happen again. But I also did take on board what I said about how if it was them, they would want to know. To some point, I agree with them on that. Oh, yeah? Because, like, you know, she's never going to know about this, of course. Didn't end up mattering because my wife realized something was up after a few days I got home from the work trip. She brought up how I'd been very quiet and seemed off ever since I got back. She looked and sounded worried about me, and I decided the moment to tell her. I didn't want us to have any secrets from each other. I told her everything. She didn't believe me at first. She believed I started to sleep with other women, but not that I had stopped or the sex was bad. I showed her the Reddit post I made so she could see I wasn't just spinning a flattering story to try to get off the hook. She started to cry reading it and then said the sentence that had been going around in my head 24/7. Then, I loved you so much. Loved. Past tense. I asked if she could really just fall out of love so quickly and she said yes. In the space of a few minutes, I'd gone from love of her life to the man she wanted to grow old with to just another sad man having a midlife crisis. Good. Bloody good. We talked for most of the night, but she wouldn't budge. She turned down my offer of marriage counselling or counselling for myself. I suggested we take a short week's break so she can think about her things. And mine is made up. We're filing for divorce, and in the meantime, I'm sleeping in our separate spare room so she can remain in the marital bed. This is not how I wanted any of this to go. She is without a doubt the woman I love, and the woman I will always love. If I could go back in time, I would lock myself in a hotel room for the entire work trip, and only come out for the conference. I would hope that she might one day change her mind all the same. Our connection is too strong to be destroyed in 30 minutes of poor decision making. Apparently not. Apparently you're too stupid to fuck around for 10 minutes to destroy a relationship. Well done, champ. I'm glad to see you torpedo yourself. Oh. Nothing I dislike more than a cheater. Am I the ass for walking out of my birthday party? This was originally posted to AITA from SunflowerHarel. May 16th, 2023. So I didn't think I'd 32 female be posting on this site so soon after my first, but I just needed to vent really. So last week some of my old buddies from high school messaged me. They said they wanted to get together and celebrate my birthday. I was at first hesitant because I don't go out and I hate parties, especially for myself. I usually just have family gatherings such as barbecues and only invite the 2 closest friends I have. I used to be close to my high school buddies back in the day, but obviously as we got older and more responsibilities, we lose contact. All of us are in our 30s now, probably only message each other out of the blue moon. My friend Cherry, 31 female, was the one who messaged me first, and then was invited to a group chat where all my old buddies joined in. Everyone agreed that this would be a good little get together for everyone to get reacquainted. I finally agreed since it'll just be old buddies. And I did miss everyone. Sadly, my best friend wasn't able to join because of medical reasons. Anyway, I went to my friend Cherry's house and everything seemed okay. It was just a potluck with minimal alcohol. I don't like drinking, but Cherry's family seemed to be invited. It didn't bother me initially because I kept to myself and caught up with everyone. As the party went on, I started to get more uncomfortable as more people showed up and with alcohol. Cherry told me they were just going to hang in the basement after, and her family invited them over, but decided to leave sooner than I was planning and told Cherry this. I figured I was there for a while and need to head back to the kids. I have 2 foster kids who my sister was babysitting. Well, Cherry flipped and said we hadn't done presents yet, and I admit I love presents, so I got excited. So everyone started handing me packages, and some I was genuinely thoughtful and I appreciated, but then Cherry handed me a box. I thought it was nothing of it. Then I opened it. The lid looked in. I slammed it shut and tried to discreetly move the box away, but Cherry grabbed both my hands and dumped out the contents. It was filled with condoms and sex toys. So the thing about me is that I'm asexual. I don't feel sexual attraction to anyone. I had to go to therapy to learn this about myself and accept it as my normal. I tried dating and even kissing a guy once, but I didn't feel nothing. I let everyone know at the end of my high school year. They seemed accepting. They've been trying to set me up with boys, then with girls. When that didn't work out, I've been single my whole life and haven't been intimate, and I'm happy. I just need my family and my friends. It took me a while to accept this, but I'm happy now. But Cherry thought it wasn't normal and convinced anyone that this was an intervention. All the people showed up and went to the basement willing to date me, and they didn't mind that I was a butch woman. I'm a journey woman for heavy-duty mechanics with short hair, and I go to the gym often, so muscles. So I panicked and I was pissed. I stood up and saying not a word. No one seemed to notice. Everyone seemed excited to start introducing me to their contestants. Their words, not mine. I just walked off. I went home, called my sister and asked if the little ones can stay overnight. Was pissed when I got home, so I didn't want the little ones to be in a bad atmosphere. Then rolled a joint, chilled in my backyard with my dog. My phone was blowing up from everyone at the party, but just didn't want to deal. Didn't want to say anything from the heat of the moment. It's been a few days ago and I still haven't messaged anyone for the party. I blocked them. Haven't told family, they might agree with them, and I'm worried. I haven't told my best friend, her medical issues got worse and I don't want to worry her. But wanted to rant. Maybe some advice on how to handle this mess. I live in a small city, don't know anyone else who has the same lifestyle. Okay, well, Look, I think you did the right thing just leaving. These people weren't your friends, right? Like, they weren't your friends before, so they don't need to be your friends now. And it's very sweet of you to, not put burdens on your friend. But if they're long-term sick, I know this is a little bit of a waffle on, but I know a lot of people who are sick for long-term conditions kind of miss the little things and being told about problems. When you're perpetually sick, no one wants to bring you problems and talk to you about it. You don't get to experience that. Maybe you should talk to your friend about this if they've been long-term sick. Maybe they'd appreciate that. Just saying, from a perspective of someone that's been through something similar. Your friend might not be the same. Who knows? Anyway, this user updates on May the 19th, 2023. So I thought everyone would like an update and maybe some clarifying some things. So a few days have passed and I've been keeping to myself mostly. Taking the kids and dogs out for walks. Now the warmer is weather. And I admit, just kind of avoiding everything. I didn't message anyone or tell anything to anyone. Basically ignoring my phone the whole time. Then suddenly, my best friend burst into my home and scared the crap out of me. Apparently she heard what was happening, been trying to call me, but obviously I hadn't been answering. She convinced the doctors to give her a day pass so she could leave for the day and check on me. That made me feel more guilt. My best friend sadly didn't win the genetic lottery and has a number of health problems since she was 12. So her going and being in the hospital isn't new, and the doctors and nurses trust her when she feels healthy enough to leave. So I went out to the back and I explained what happened, and she was pissed. I then asked her how she found out, because I was scared that what happening spreading and others knew as well. But she showed me her phone. Cherry apparently messaged her stating and ranting how my best friend Ty, 32F, stole her best friend, and it was her fault I don't hang out with her anymore. But I never actually hung out with her alone when we were in high school, and only really talk at school, so I don't know why she thinks I'm her best friend of all people. We decided we didn't want to deal with this brand of crazy and blocked her everywhere. I also took some advice and finally managed to message the group and explained that I no longer wanted to be associated with people who thought they can change me to suit their own narrative and how hurt I was, then promptly left the group. Tina stayed the whole day with me and invited one other close friend, James, 36 male, who wasn't part of the party, to come over, and we hung out in the backyard while my kids played outside. Both James and Tia told me that some people of the group messaged them asking to talk to me and explain the side, which I agreed. Only 3 people of the group came and explained that Cherry told them that I was interested in finally dating, and the reason why I didn't date was because I was traumatized from my father walking out when I was a kid. They thought they would go to the party for emotional support and didn't think the rest of the events would happen. They even brought thoughtful gifts I was given that I left behind at the party. I forgave them because I was closer to them and didn't think they were lying. But the others at the party agreed with Cherry and thought I was rude for walking out. Didn't agree that I was asexual, so they'll remain blocked. My friends organised Chinese after the kids were put to bed, watched Avatar 2, and James even went out and got a small cake. So I know everything will be fine. Don't need a ton of friends, just the few I have is more than enough. Also, to answer one question I think I saw in one of the comments, my siblings are supportive, and no, I'm an ace. Sorry, I said asexual. I think my mum is a product of her time and just doesn't understand. She'll make comments about how finding the right one, can't wait to see her future grandkids and such, but doesn't push it when I remind her I might not be getting biological grandkids. Thanks for all the comments and advice. It's been therapeutic. Well, I think the ending's overall good. I'm glad your friend was able to come see you, ask you, well, talk to you. Small positives, right? You've got the friends you need, you've got kids. I don't think you need to worry with losers like this. If somebody's trying to change who you are and what you are is not disruptive to anyone else, then who cares? Quite frankly, who cares? And if somebody does care, stuff them. Seriously, stuff them.